Good morning. We're going to start in about 3 minutes, so if you could work towards your seat, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to downtown Fargo for this, what is going to be a wonderful ceremony to commemorate an awful lot of hard work from those in this room, those online who are watching this, and those around the country who have contributed to this project. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to a dedication ceremony to mark the completion of the first major component of the Fargo-Moorhead Metropolitan Area Flood Risk Management Project's southern embankment. I thank the congressional delegation and Senator Hoeven here with us, Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, Mr. Michael Connor, Mayor Mahoney, and the rest of the Diversion Authority Board for attending this event and demonstrating the project's importance and value to the nation. While I have this captive audience here, I would like to say a special thank you to the members of my team from the St. Paul District of the Army Corps of Engineers, in particular those who work here in our Western area office in Fargo, who have been dedicated to this project for a decade. I'd also be remiss if I didn't say a personal thanks to Terry Williams, the Corps, my longtime project manager, program manager for this project. She has been a stalwart here, working with many of you to help get this project over the finish line. Also to Virginia Rigora, who's my area engineer here at the Fargo office, who's really been out with her team on the ground, ensuring that we keep this project moving along and we move it along safely. I'd also like to thank you for your flexibility. We would have loved to have had this ceremony at the site, but this morning or yesterday, Mother Nature did not make that dream a reality. And I know that many of you are from the Midwest and are hardy, but we figured doing it here in downtown at the city hall would be also appropriate, given that we are really close to the banks of the Red River, which, Red River flooding is one of the reasons that we're here today. The structure you see on the poster boards and displayed, the diversion inlet structure, is symbolic of so much. The groundbreaking for this structure occurred on April 17th, 2017, which was the 20th anniversary of the historic crest of the Red River of the North in 1997. It is the first of the 3 large gated structures to be completed by the Corps. Emblematic of all project features, it has been a group effort. This large and complex structure was designed by a team of experts from across the Corps. From the Metro Flood Diversion Authority, worked with landowners to secure the ground it is constructed on, and it has served as an integral role in its design and construction. So my personal thanks to the Diversion Authority for their support and partnership in this project. And as an ultimate owner, the Diversion Authority will operate and maintain this $50 million feature so it remains ready to divert flood flows into the stormwater diversion channel. More importantly, it is symbolic of the partnership making permanent flood protection, or as I say, enduring flood protection, a reality as the location of where the federal and non-federal work meet under the innovative split delivery model. The first federal bucket of excavation occurred here in 2017, and the final bucket will be secured by our non-federal sponsors and their partners, the Red River Valley Alliance, when they tie in the 30-mile diversion channel at this very location where the diversion inlet structure is. Getting to this point, however, has not been easy. And I know I'm, in a way, preaching to the choir, because many of you have been part of the challenges we've had to get to this point. We started down this road with a feasibility study in 2008. And it has taken the federal government, 2 states, 2 counties, more than 5 communities, and elected officials at all levels working in partnership together to get this far. We stand here today to honor all the partners that are making permanent flood protection happen and making that a reality for the 260,000 people who live in this metro area. We will have several speakers today remark on what we have done to get this far and what we are doing to mark our target completion for the whole diversion project by the spring of 2027. And I am proud to say that we are still on path to meet that target. At this time, we will unveil the plaque that will mark the special partnership and relationships that have been created to get this far in the project. This plaque will be placed at the diversion inlet structure when the weather's a little bit more hospitable, such that the reader will also be facing northwest, the site of the future diversion channel. Now I would like to invite Senator Hoeven, the Diversion Authority Chair, Mayor Tim Mahoney, and Assistant Secretary of the Army for Civil Works, Mr. Connor, to join me for the unveiling of the plaque. Gentlemen. So as you've seen here, we have a group of distinguished guests with us today, folks who have had a hand in this success or are representing those who have had a hand in this success. And I'd like to offer them an opportunity to say a few words. So we'll start the speeches with Senator Hoeven from North Dakota. Senator?
Thanks, Colonel. Appreciate it. Thanks, Colonel, and thanks to you and to your crew and the incredible work that you've been doing. Thanks to all of you for being here. This is a big deal. And I think, Colonel Swenson, you're absolutely 100% right. We've got to celebrate these milestones along the way because they're so hard to achieve. And so this diversion inlet structure is a big deal. And I want to take a few minutes to thank everybody, but first, just some comments about how important it is. The diversion inlet structure is really, and when I screw up here, you just go ahead and, just jump in and say, well, that's not quite right, Senator, anytime I get too far off track. But I do get to embellish some. That goes with the job. Yeah. But seriously, it is the hinge, right? It's the hinge between the embankment and the channel. So it really brings together what the Corps of Engineers, what the federal effort is in terms of the embankment and the 3 inlets, and then the channel work, of course, which is the public-private partnership, which is really that public, local, state effort. So it's the hinge that brings it all together, and once again really represents the uniqueness and just the fantastic nature of this project. I mean, this is a first in the nation, first of its kind, and I believe it's going to be a model for many other projects around the country, not only because we have the public-private partnership, but also because we have the WIFIA financing, and there's just so much that has gone into it that is new, innovative, and creative, which is why we're able to not only stay on track, but ahead of track, ultimately building it faster and at lower cost. And I think we're going to continue to see that just with what we see with inflation right now and the way this project has been structured by so many people that make it truly not only unique, but I think really a model for the nation going forward. So again, there's a lot of people to thank. I'm going to thank a lot of them, or recognize, I should say, a lot of them. I'll miss some, so Mayor Mahoney, it's up to you to anyone I miss. So this is the deal that the mayor and I made, is that I'll thank a certain phalanx, but I'll miss some, and then he's responsible for anyone else. So if anybody gets missed, sorry, Mayor, but we worked that out ahead of time. It's impressive. As Colonel said, we were supposed to be out there standing in front of it, and it is impressive. And there'll be another opportunity to do that. But let's see, 46 feet high, 3 gates, each 50 feet wide, 250,000 cubic yards of excavation, which sounds like a lot to me, and 1,000 tons of rebar, and the list goes on and on. So these pictures are really great, and you do get a fantastic sense of what it's like. But it really is, like I say, an amazing structure, but it's part of a $3.2 billion multi-state, multi-county, multi-community, large and small project that really is, like I say, one of a kind. The Corps has not ever used this public-private partnership model. They've never used WIFIA financing, which provides long-term, low-interest rate financing at a time when it's so critically important. And the reason we're able to do that is we actually passed 16 pieces of legislation to both authorize it as well as fund the $750 million share of the $3.2 billion. That took a lot of creativity, a lot of new things, but that's also true in terms of what the state did. I know Representative Wagner's here, and who was also part of the Diversion Authority. If we have other state legislators here, thank you, and certainly to Governor Burgum and to everybody at the state level, thank you for their effort. But then so many innovative efforts at the local level. And again, communities large and small, Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead, and then smaller communities, Harwood, Horace, and so forth. I mean, really innovative, creative partnership, but that is truly what it takes for comprehensive flood protection. As the Colonel said, and rightly so, about more than 250,000 people in this immediate area, rapidly growing, right? I mean, look at Mayor Dardis, you're working on a new bond issue for a new school because, I mean, as soon as you build a school, there's so many more kids coming into the school district. You need another one. Well, that's our future. That's our future. And I can't think of any place in the country that does a better job with young people than we do. So let's celebrate that. And we need this flood protection to make all of that happen. So I'm going to finish kind of with two things. One kind of a fun one, and that was, as I recall, there was a certain wager that was made between, I think, two of the folks here present, one being Joel Paulson with the Diversion Authority, and another fella, tall guy in uniform, might be sitting over here, and that's Colonel Swenson. I'll mention that in just a minute. But first I want to do some thank yous. I kind of broke it down by category. I don't know if Mayor Mahoney's going to be quite as systematic as he does the cleanup on this, but I wanted to try to, help him out. Senator Kramer, and obviously Congressman Armstrong, great partners in everything, certainly that I do on behalf of our state, and I can't thank them enough. And Michael Kelch is here on their behalf. Senator Klobuchar and Senator Tina Smith are fantastic to work with, and they bring that, working with them on so many things, which we do, and you'll see more of that, really enables us to achieve things on a bipartisan basis that are important for both states. And so I want to thank both Amy and Tina, and Ben Leans here, and I thank also Carson Ouellette from Senator Smith's staff. The mayors, the communities here are so fortunate to have the mayors you have. And that's a tough job. That's a tough job because everybody kind of feels pretty comfortable. I get a lot of input too on things I could do better, and that's good. It's helpful, but boy, being a mayor, you're right there. And so, you really are the tip of the spear. But the other thing is just the commitment to this project as epitomized starting with Mayor Mahoney. I mean, he's probably going to be all smiles today, but I telling you, when we cut the ribbon on this thing, when it's all done, I'll bet you money he's going to be crying. I mean, he's going to be crying. Those Irish tears are going to be running down that green tie. Bernie Dardis, I mentioned, and Louise, who was superintendent of schools over in West Fargo for a long time. Again, just epitomize a commitment that I'm talking about. You don't do that, it takes a lot to get up every day and get after it. And they do, and they have for a long time. And so I want to thank Bernie and Louise. And then Shelley Carlson, who's from my neck of the woods, northwestern North Dakota, mayor of Moorhead. She's just so great to work with and really brings that same element that both Senator Klobuchar and Senator Smith bring to that bipartisan, bi-state push that is hugely important. The city commissioner's been fantastic. I'm going to start with Dave Pepcorn, just because he's so big, you can't miss him. Are you sitting down? It looks like you're standing up. I mean, he's so big, I can't. And then Denise Kolpak, whose hands should have warmed up by now, right? Cold hands, warm heart, they say. So, and I don't know if John Strand is here, but he's on my list, who's pushed really hard on the housing projects, done a great job. And then Moorhead, I think we've got Larry Seljevold and Chuck Hendrickson here. I might have missed some. But certainly the leadership from the county commissions, and then the city commission, but then the county commissions too. I saw formerly one of the band members of ZZ Top, Chad Peterson here, and who's the chairman, and does a fantastic job, and is just a super good guy, and as you can tell, fun to work with. Mary Sherling, I hope she's here because she was the chairman of the Diversion Authority at such a pivotal time. Mary, are you here? I hope you are. Okay, well, if not, tell her I said nice things about her. She's, again, talk about somebody great to work with, and they're at a really pivotal time. Tony Grinberg, Roger Olson with the Water District, Clay County, I think Kevin Campbell, David Ebinger, and then, okay, Mayor, now whoever I missed, you ready? You're going to pounce on it like a cat on a fat rat, right? I mean, okay. Okay, and now the only, the thing I said as I think, as I recall, there is a major wager on this thing, as I recall. And so, it's like a horse race, in that Kentucky Derby. They're about, what's that pole about halfway, the halfway pole? I think they're kind of there. And I'm trying to remember, but I think it was for a steak dinner. I think Joel Paulson was betting that the channel crew, the local, the PPP effort would be done before the Corps of Engineers federal embankment outlet guys would be done. I kind of feel like, as you're watching that horse race, right now the Corps surged. I mean, they're probably leading by a nose, maybe a little more than a nose. Maybe by a length, I don't know. But I think the Corps is in the lead at this point. So if I were Joel, I'd maybe be just a little bit puckered up, I don't know. But if he's around, you can ask him. But anyway, this is a big deal, and I know it's going to be a really, really nice steak dinner. But more important for that, it means for the people of this region that sooner and at lower cost, they're going to have flood protection, so they don't have to worry about lives and property every year. And think of the cost that goes into those emergency preparations. They're not going to have to buy flood insurance and have that annual cost, right? And ultimately for the taxpayers with, the sales tax and everything else, it's going to be less. It's going to save them money. And that's what's really important. Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Of course, I forgot the single most important thing I had to do. And that was to sit here and rave about Assistant Secretary for Army Michael Connor. So would you please give him a standing ovation right now? A standing ovation. Come on, right here. The Assistant Secretary, Michael Connor. No, come on. Love. Show him the love. Really big. This guy matters to us a lot, okay? And I'd like to say I really saved it for last so I could really make a big deal of it, but I didn't. It just worked out that way. There are massive projects, I'm not going to sit and name them all, that don't get done without his help. This is one of them. So I'm not fooling when I tell you that was my most important thing, was to thank him for his help and his continuing help, and for being here today. Thanks, guys.
Senator, thank you for your comments, and we appreciate your unwavering support to this partnership we have with the Metro Flood Diversion Authority and the Corps of Engineers in delivering for the people of Fargo and Moorhead. There is a bet, I've heard of this bet out here, and I'd be happy to buy a steak for Joel. Because if I'm buying a steak for Joel, we're getting the project done even earlier. So it's a win for me. It's a win for all the people that live out here. Mr. Connor, floor is yours.
I think that's too much applause, given the introduction I just got. It is an honor, a pleasure. It's exciting to be out here. So I very much appreciate it's exciting because I am an engineer and I'm an infrastructure geek, and this is a big deal, as Senator Hoeven pointed out. Let me first of all, I will never get the thank yous that are deserving here, and I will not articulate all the kudos that people deserve, but I do want to say, Colonel Swenson, you and the team here, St. Paul, Terry, Williams, it's just a fantastic result. And it's fantastic, and I'll talk a little bit about this more as I get into the discussion here. But what a result, what a team. We're doing great things, and we're doing it with great partners here. And Senator Hoeven, I thought Mayor Mahoney was going to take all the incoming, but I got a little bit of my own with the high expectations now that I'll never meet. But I do want to say, in all seriousness, 16 pieces of legislation. You have worked incredibly hard with the Minnesota delegation and the rest of the North Dakota delegation. And it's so impressive because, a lot of times that's what people expect from their political leaders, from folks in political appointees, myself. We hear a lot of, well, we can't do this because of this. And sometimes you can plow through that by just, focus, bringing resources, and sometimes you got to change the law. Quite frankly, to do things the way they should be done. And this delegation, led by Senator Hoeven, has been hard at work doing that, providing all the tools, getting over the hurdles. Amazing, amazing work. And so it's a pleasure to be here. This is my 5th time in North Dakota. This is the single most visited state that I've had during my tenure as Assistant Secretary of the Army. And it's because there's a lot of great stuff going on. There's one little project that takes up a lot of time. That's a tough one to work through, but a lot of it has to do with my respect for Senator Hoven, Senator Kramer, the North Dakota delegation. I have equal respect for the Minnesota delegation. I think there's two visits I've made there, so I got to step up my game with respect to Minnesota. I understand that completely and totally. Groundbreakings are the best, and this one in particular is one that represents a massive undertaking, and I wanted to be here to celebrate that, given the results that are well underway right now, and also because of the united region that exists here to come together with this project and the complexities that Senator Hoven just laid out about the local governments, the multiple states, et cetera, and then partnering with at the federal level using the Army Civil Works program as well as the WIFIA program. I mean, this is quite a testament to creativity. I know from the stories, and at least I've heard through time, that it's not always been a love fest. That there have been difficult discussions, pauses in the progress that we're celebrating today. But obviously that's all water under the bridge now, or, pun intended, water in the diversion channel when appropriate. I got in at 1:30 in the morning, so you know, that was my best attempt at a little bit of a water pun there. Let me just say, another reason I wanted to be here is not just for the celebration of this particular project. It's what this project represents, because it represents a lot, and it's a big deal to the Army Civil Works program overall. And Senator Hoven mentioned, you know, the number of projects we've got across the country. The Corps does work internationally. There's so much going on. But when I came into this position, one of my jobs as the Assistant Secretary is to set priorities for the program, set priorities that reflect the President's priorities, and a couple of those priorities are, you know, the need to innovate with respect to building climate resilient infrastructure. This project absolutely represents innovation in carrying out what essentially is, you know, the ultimate climate resilience project from my perspective, given the risks and the floods already experienced, as well as those that we know will come. But another thing that we need to do, in addition to just continue to work with our partners in different ways and build different types of projects that work best, is to modernize how we carry out that work. And that's a big part, one of our priorities, modernizing the Army Civil Works program. And that applies to what we build, the different types of infrastructure that we put in place now, how we build it. This goes to the partnerships that we are developing in the way that we're no longer the Corps that says, we know what you need and we're here to build it for you, no matter what you think. It's a different era now, and we recognize that. And then finally, who do we build this infrastructure for? We are expanding our reach. We are working with different communities. We're not just looking at the, you know, highest land values on the coast to protect those properties. We're stretching out to Middle America, and we're working with communities that had not been priorities beforehand. And I think this project also represents that. So it's significant with respect to moving forward with all those priorities. Some key points that I would just mention along those lines are the innovation. And as Senator Hoven mentioned, the public-private partnership that exists, the split delivery approach, the way that we're taking on the things that we can do in these massive construction projects, managing those and integrating it with the diversion authorities and the local entities, and marrying up with how you can best carry out aspects of this project. And so the benefits are, you know, are self-evident with respect to that. Every project we do these days, given the range of challenges that we're dealing with, the extreme weather events, quite frankly, they're a race against time. We've got many projects where just even last year, we're in the middle of construction, but we lost that race against time. We had another major significant flooding event even while we're trying to construct the projects to move forward. Hopefully that won't happen here. But what you've done is to mitigate that risk tremendously. 10 years you're taking off the construction schedule, the way this project is being developed. Over $300 million in savings in carrying out this project. That's proof of concept, and the fact that you're looking at, a time frame of 2027 to complete this project, I guarantee you're the envy of a lot of communities who are looking much longer to try and get the projects done that will build the resilience and protect those communities. Partnership, second key factor. You can't talk about that enough. But here, it's a partnership at all levels. It's a political partnership between the respective delegations in North Dakota and Minnesota with the Biden administration. There is nobody who focuses. These are difficult times in our country because we tend to focus so much on what divides us as opposed to what unites us in the common purposes that we have to have together. This project is a complete focus on a common need, a common purpose, and working together and working through difficult issues. And I'll tell you what, John Hoven is the absolute best at that, at bringing people together, at focusing on those common things that we need to work on together. And once again, I'm just going to return the favor here. I think for that, your leadership in this area deserves a round of applause. And with respect to the partnership, it's going to be permanently memorialized here because that infrastructure is going to be in place a long, long, long time. And it says partners, the plaque says partners united in protecting the citizens of Fargo-Moorhead. And that's what it is. It's partners that have been united. Third, assessing and managing risk and responding to that. We do a lot of the federal government of, talking about risk and talking about challenges and not getting into the hard business of addressing that on the ground. 1997 historic crest. We know that's likely to be exceeded in the future given the extreme weather conditions that we see across the country. It's a first-hand demonstration of that risk, and the reality is that you responded, you had those difficult conversations, you worked through a project that the whole communities, 5 communities in the area, and multiple governments can live with, and that is extremely significant because the bottom line gets to my last factor is results. It doesn't matter how we work together, how we, talk about things. What matters is what happens on the ground. And certainly, we've got a race now. I'll go to my betting app and see who I can take bets on, who's going to get that steak dinner. But everybody benefits, as Colonel Swenson pointed out, with respect to that. So let me just end by emphasizing, I think the accumulation of all of these factors have not only will benefit the region for a long, long time, but it's been recognized, and it's got national recognition. The recognition for this project, the awards that has been received by the project delivery teams, by the respective communities in putting this together, I think is also unprecedented with respect to one particular project. And most recently, the National Academy of Construction, Colonel Swenson was there to be our face in receiving the award, along with my principal, Deputy Jamie Pinkham. They received a Special Achievement Award, which was given to highlight the creativity, innovation, vision, and accomplishments of practitioners in the engineering, design, and construction industries. That's a mouthful, but it is high praise indeed. It's the highest praise that exists in the construction industry for a project like this. And with that, I just say congratulations and thank you very much for all your efforts.
Thank you, Mr. Connor, for your support and being able to attend the ceremony today. Now I'd like to welcome Ben Lean from Senator Klobuchar's office to read a prepared statement.
Thank you, Colonel Swenson. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ben Lean. I am the Northwest and Central Minnesota Regional Outreach Director for Senator Klobuchar. I cover 33 counties around basically Congressional District 7, and I'm based in the Moorhead office. So really appreciate the invitation to be here. I know the Senator really holds this project in very high regard, and she's really proud to be a strong partner in it, both with Senator Hoeven and with, I should say, for the states of Minnesota and North Dakota. Unfortunately, she could not be here today. She's busy in DC, I believe, doing the people's work, but she did want to just send her appreciation and greetings for this event. Dear friends, thank you for the invitation to join you for today's inlet structure dedication as we celebrate the completion of this critical phase of the Metro Flood Diversion. This project has been years in the making, and I especially want to recognize my partner in the Senate, Senator John Hoeven, as well as the Metro Flood Diversion Authority, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and all the leaders in Cass and Clay counties, as well as the cities of Fargo and Moorhead. Your work on this project will result in permanent flood protection and significantly improve the safety and quality of life for all those who live and work in the Fargo-Moorhead metro region. The completion of the Metro Flood Diversion will mean the cities of Fargo and Moorhead will no longer have to rely on filling sandbags, building temporary levees that disrupt traffic, and the overall stress that comes with watching for levee breaches in the middle of the night. The Metro Flood Diversion is a win for the entire Fargo-Moorhead community, and for that, we'll all be able to breathe a sigh of relief every spring. Thank you again for the invitation to join today's celebration. I look forward to working with you to build a brighter future for all, and I'm proud to serve you in the United States Senate. Sincerely, Amy Klobuchar, United States Senator. Thanks again.
Thank you, Ben, for being here today and bringing Senator Klobuchar's message to us. Now, please welcome Michael Kelsch from Senator Kramer's office.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I'm Michael Kelsch, Senator Kramer's Southeast Regional Representative here in Fargo. The Senator regrets he isn't able to be here today. I hear he's doing some snow blowing out in Western North Dakota today. So with that, I'm going to read a greeting on his behalf. Dear friends, greetings to all gathered for the dedication diversion inlet structure for the Fargo-Moorhead Metropolitan Area Flood Risk Management Project. Every step this significant project moves forward to completion is a reason to celebrate. I hope you all take some time to pause and reflect in your role in supporting it. This inlet structure is a major feature for the overall project, as well as the completion of the Sudman Embankment project. Its completion represents the tremendous progress, and I commend the Corps of Engineers for your excellent construction management of this component. You have incorporated innovative approaches and bring a greater cost and construction efficiencies. Building this inlet structure is under the first public-private partnership agreement in history of the Corps and is significant in itself. I commend all those who contribute to this success. With flooding being such an ongoing issue in this area and permanent flood protections, this permanent solution for protecting 250,000 residents is long overdue. Congratulations on this special day, and I wish you every success as the work continues to move forward. Sincerely, Kevin Kramer, United States Senator. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you, Michael, for being here today and bringing Senator Kramer's message to us. And please let the senator know that it's not snow that he's shoveling. That's icing on our cake that we're eating. So now I'd like to thank, I'd like to welcome Carson from Senator Smith's office to read a prepared statement.
Hello, I'm Carson Ouellette. I'm Senator Smith's Outreach Director for the Moorhead office in Western Minnesota. The senator couldn't be here today. She's going to be disappointed when I tell her that you had donuts. One thing to know about her, she absolutely loves donuts. Anytime we're traveling, that is her road trip food, and a meeting with donuts is just amazing. A little bit about me. I grew up born and raised in Devils Lake, North Dakota, so I understand and appreciate permanent flood protection for a community. So here's the message from Senator Smith. Dear friends, Mr. Connor, Colonel Swenson, Senator Hoeven, Mayor Mahoney, and everyone else who worked for over 20 years to figuratively and literally lay the groundwork for the Metro Diversion Project, I say congratulations. The completion of the diversion inlet structure is a critical step toward permanent flood protection for the Moorhead, Fargo, West Fargo community. Another critical step was the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure law, which included $437 million to get this project done by 2027. Through laws like this one, we're able to fund projects like the diversion because we are finally investing in infrastructure again. Infrastructure that will directly safeguard our communities and businesses from the ravages of flood damage. And in addition to redirecting the next big flood, This project is putting hundreds of people to work in construction. In August, I toured the Diversion Inlet structure and was excited to see the progress being made. When I joined the Senate, this project existed mostly on paper. Standing at that structure, I was able to appreciate the scale of this endeavor. You should be proud of what you have accomplished so far. I look forward to celebrating the next milestone and final completion of this project that ensures the safety, security, and prosperity of everyone in the Red River Valley. Congratulations, and sincerely, Tina Smith, United States Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Carson, for being here today and sharing the Senator's message with us. So some of you may have thought that I skipped someone. That was deliberate. Please now welcome the Chair of the Diversion Authority and Mayor of Fargo, Dr. Tim Mahoney.
What a great day for all of us. I think Senator Hoeven, one of the first people we do have to thank is that, like all the people in Ames Construction and/or people who worked on the inlet, stand up at this time. I'd like to give you a round of applause. Beautiful structure, beautiful build. As I understand, talking to the Colonel, on time, on budget, a little bit below budget, wasn't it, sir? Yes, and safety was excellent. So we're very pleased about that. And what you've learned with there, the wildlife structure went up and the next structure is going up. And we think every time you put a new structure, it'll save money, so it's fantastic for all of us. I'd like to acknowledge all the hard work that got us to this point. It's a lot of hard work by a variety of different people that went before us and came after us. You sometimes wonder what the Assistant Secretary of the Army is here for. The story we have about that is Denny Wallaker. He went to the Pentagon to meet with some people there. Cab drops him off. Denny walks to the door. This isn't the door you go in, sir. It's on the other side of the Pentagon. Now, if you've ever been to the Pentagon, it's a big building, and there are not cabs that will take you around to the other side of the building. So you might say the mayor was a little grumpy that day when we talked to the Army, U.S. Corps. So the beauty with having them as a partner, Civil Works helps us out because when this project started, it was $1.8 billion, and it ended up at $3.2 billion. When we came in the first time to talk to them, they were a little suspicious of the Fargo project, Fargo-Moorhead project. Well, you guys are kind of really thinking kind of grandiose here. Our ratios didn't work. A lot of things didn't work. When we came back with the P3 project, it was fantastic. We were innovative, bright, articulate. We had a project that nobody else had in the country. We kept moving our way up to the top of the list. I think they were not disappointed. We had Tony Grinberg on our finance committee, and one day he comes to us and he says, I think it's another $300 million, Tim. We got to go back and ask for that. And some of you won't remember in that room, but we went to the federal ask the first time. Sorry, John, got to bring it up. We asked for $50 million. Went to the legislative body, said, we're going to get $50 million. This thing's going to go. It's going to go like slick. It's going. It's moving. End of budget, we got $5 million. And boy, did we have to sweet talk that to say that was a lot of money. Now, when we get down to the end, we came back to our Civil Works and said, hey, we need another $300 million. Senator Hoeven, Tim, that's a lot to ask. You guys got to be a little careful about that ask. We went in there, and I thought it was in a different room, different pace and space, because they said, yep, we'll be happy to do that, because you love the project. And I think that's what we got in partnership. All the people that have worked on this project were just, we always tried to think of a different way. If something didn't work, we'd try something else. If something else didn't work, we tried something else. There's no question, Mike, it took partnership. It took all of us working together to get this project to get where it had to be. When we go to Washington, oftentimes the issue is that how did you get 2 states, 2 cities, 2 counties, water boards, you know? How did you get the landowners? How did you get everybody to work on this? And it's just a remarkable determination that we have to get this project done. Now, for our community, what this means is that this means permanent flood protection. What permanent flood protection means is resiliency in your community. It means your community can thrive and grow and have things happen to it. Our region, our mayors, our commissions, our counties, everybody has benefited by this project. And what we, what Senator or Commissioner Pipcorn will say, Katie barred the door. Once we get this project done, we're going to have a lot of growth going on. It's timing perfect for the city of Fargo because we're doing a growth plan to try to figure out what are we going to do as more people come in our community. So it's a wonderful opportunity to build a metropolitan area that hires people, keeps people working, busy, doing all the things they love to do, and they have flood protection. This last year, we did some sandbags, and we actually had to send out YouTube videos to teach the kids how to do sandbags. Now, that's a skill set I thought everybody knew, but we had to reteach people how to do this because we haven't done it for a while. 3 years, and we're going to have a project we never have to throw a sandbag, and that is going to be fantastic. Corps of Engineers also has been kind of innovative. That's kind of an unusual term for them, isn't it? Innovative? Aren't they kind of slow to adapt, not able to move very fast? We found them that they worked with us to overcome hurdles, project issues. As we came to them with different ideas and different ways of doing it, they embraced it. And as Colonel Swenson said at one time, we're below budget, which they want to be, and we're ahead of schedule. The steak dinner might go that way, but now we're starting to push the P3 people to move a little bit faster. Joel won't say it, but he's kicking them a little bit to move faster. Because you're almost done with the wild rice. You've only got one other big structure on the Red River, right? That's the biggest thing you're going to ever build. But that is going to be ahead of schedule as well, I think, because we've learned so much in our first 2 projects. So the private-public partnership is the most innovative project that the Corps has done in the United States, and it's working. And we are proud as we go along is that we are getting recognized for that because it is something people did not expect. What really helped us on the inlet is the ability to motivate the legislative team in Bismarck to get behind this project. It was kind of this idea, yeah, you're going to build it, yeah, you're going to build it. And to be honest, a ditch is kind of boring. When you do a ditch, it's a lot of dirt and booze. But when we went up there and saw all the concrete poured, all the rebars, all the different things on this inlet, it's a big structure. So they took a tour out there and they saw it when it was halfway completed. And then he said, this is real. We have to get the funding. So we're very thankful to our state partners that helped get this through. We're very thankful to Governor Bergen that helped us to work with Governor Dayton and get the hurdle to get it over the hump. This inlet shows that we are having our momentum and we are going to move forward. This inlet represents the start of the project and where the inlet is going to be. This inlet is a solid structure. That means we have a solid project and we continue to move forward. I love the fact that we were able to build throughout the year and it gets cold. I think Ames discovered what clay is not much fun to work with. In the flood, it's not much fun to work with as well. But that we were able to overcome those and we continue to see people on a 24-hour build through the winter. It's clearly a strong symbol. So to get to Senator Hoven's last request of me, I would like every elected official in the room, anybody who's working on the project, all my Diversion Authority employees as well, Joe, your team, to please stand up because we'd like to give you all a round of applause. And Senator Hoven, when we get this project finally done, both of us are going to be crying. I'll tell you that for sure. Okay. Well, when Denny Wallaker was around, what happened one time, he had Denny Wallaker coins in which you took the coin, went in the bar and got a free beer. I don't have those to give out today. Sorry about that. But I do have the key of City of Fargo to give the Colonel because of this great partnership we have. And we feel you need to have a key to the city because when we have a flood, you won't be able to get into the place. So I'll just give you a key so you can get on the boat.
So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mahoney, for your inspirational words. Joel and I are in a horse race, and we're going to get this project done on time, under budget, for the people that live in this great metro. This project continues to be an example of how local, state, and federal government can work together to protect and serve the public. I'd also like to recognize, as kind of already done today, but recognize personally the leadership of Mayor Shelley Carlson and Mayor Dardis, Shelley Carlson of Moorhead, Mayor Dardis of West Fargo, also just great champions, and I like to say friends here in this community. In addition, please recognize the many board members of the Flood Diversion Authority, Metro Flood Diversion Authority, who are here today, and our teammates from the local area, to include the cities of Fargo and Moorhead and Cass and Clay counties, members of RRVA and ASN constructors who are designing and constructing the stormwater diversion channel, Ames Construction, who engineered that wonderful diversion inlet structure and are working on the other two structures, and our teammates from the St. Paul District. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to attend the dedication ceremony today. And now we would like to give the members of the media the opportunity to ask any questions and allow for a photo opportunity. Also, just before everyone breaks today, we do have, I'll let you look behind the curtain. This morning, we weren't sure we were going to get the plaque, so we had a backup, kind of a plaque double, and we printed it off, and it's in the back with a pen. So if you'd like to sign, autograph that as to put your name to memorialize the work that you did on this project, we'd be honored if you'd take the moment to sign it. And it's located over here on a table. I told my team I wouldn't tell everyone a little secret, but it all worked out in the end, and the plaque is here and good to go. Again, thank you all for coming today, and I can take any questions if there are any. If not, I think there's still some refreshments outside. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming.